In this AI Creator Workshop session, you will learn what it takes to grow over 1 million followers with zero budget, zero team, and zero ads using AI tools like Claude Code together with Blotato. And you're in for a treat for this one because I'm joined by Sabrina Ramonov, who's been blowing up quite a lot on social media with her content. She is close to 2 million followers. And what's interesting is she didn't start too long ago. Sabrina is on a mission to teach over 10 million people AI for free. And in 15 months, she grew her personal brand from zero to well over 1 million followers, on the way to 2 million, as I mentioned at the time we're recording this one, with zero team, employees, and budget. And she previously built and sold an AI startup as a founder and CEO. I actually personally really enjoy Sabrina's content. That's why I decided to bring her on for this session. So with that being said, let's dive right in. So if people stick around until the very end of this session, what are they going to walk away with, Sabrina?
Yeah, absolutely. So I will share my entire journey as a content creator and as an entrepreneur, and most importantly, how I've been able to scale myself solo without going insane. That was really the impetus behind building my own product to help scale my own content creation. Of course, it uses AI to kind of scale and like clone myself on multiple different channels at scale. But most of all, I just want people to walk away inspired. It's honestly, I believe it's the best time ever to be a solopreneur, and you can truly accomplish so much with what used to take like millions of dollars and hiring a big team. And now you can build like a really profitable venture completely solo, or if you want to hire a few folks, that's fine too. And I just want people to walk away inspired with what's possible today.
Yeah, and you sold, of course, your company. I mean, you've been in AI for quite some time. So maybe you can share a little bit about that, how that led you to what we are going to talk about today, because you built a startup, Blotato, which you can do a lot of cool automation with, and you can connect it to all your platforms like Claude Code, Anything, and you can automate a lot of stuff. And we are going to get into that fun stuff.
Yeah,
But before, how did you get to this point? Like, I mean, you're
yeah,
doing
absolutely.
so much with content creation now. You're giving everything away for free. You're not even selling courses and stuff like that. So, well, tell me.
Yeah, I mean, my background's in computer science and physics from Berkeley, so a lot of people don't know that, but I took my first AI class in 2011 in school, and we were doing like some basic things with reinforcement learning and Python, and I just remember thinking, wow, this is so cool. But what people don't understand is like I thought I was late to AI in 2011. Okay. I was like, wow, there's already so many people who know AI, so many professors who know AI and machine learning. Like it didn't feel like early in any sense. But right after college, I was so interested in the space. I started an AI company, and that prioritized basically real time speech recognition, natural language processing on live calls. So we had tech kind of similar to meeting notes, but we applied it in a more call center sales context. So we could listen to what people are calling in about, figure out what questions they're asking, like what customer support questions, and then show recommendations in real time to the support agent. And that was a huge lift technologically. We built our own stack. We used a lot of open source. I hired a team of machine learning PhDs. I raised a couple million in venture capital. I was the founder and CEO. And it was really, really, really tough. Like the things you can do with ChatGPT today, we would have to build like specific models, one for sentiment analysis, one for classifying questions, one to figure out who is speaking, which is called diarization in speech recognition. Like every little thing we wanted to do, we would have to train our own machine learning model to do it well. And honestly, it was really hard because of the data collection aspect and then making it work well in theory and then making it work well in the real world when you have different speaking styles, like what is this person saying, transcribing it, doing it in real time, like really low latency. So it was very, very challenging. And it was mind blowing to me to see ChatGPT, like with a single sentence, you could do what used to take us a team of machine learning scientists, PhDs, and like 5 different natural language processing models. So it's just been a wild ride to see the whole industry evolve.
Yeah, you sold your company obviously, and then you got into. Did you right away get into content creation? Did you all because you were not really a creator before that, right? You were more like a
Yeah, like
founder
people
CEO.
Yeah, it's like I actually still cringe when people label me like an influencer. It's like in Silicon Valley, that's not like a nice thing to say.
Yeah, yeah. I can imagine.
Yeah, like I have a technical background. I built and sold an AI company. Being an influencer was not like on my to-do list. But what happened is my husband and I, we kind of like retired, relaxed out here in Salt Lake City. We had family visit and they saw this like canvas art in our home, which we had used Midjourney to make like what we thought were really cool photos and printed it out at Costco, like to get a canvas. And my family members were like, wait, how did you do that? So then I showed them AI and like what you could do just by typing prompts. And they sat there for hours, just like tweaking it, trying to get the picture to look just the way they want it, like trying to figure out the words to use to describe like the vision in their head. And I was like, wow, I guess a lot of people don't know about this stuff. Like that was the thought I had. And that was the original motivation to start making content. It wasn't to build another business. I was very burnt out from my first startup. So the last thing I wanted to do was another startup. That's why it's like funny to be here today with Blotato.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting because I mean it's like being an educator. I think it's a nicer word than saying you're an influencer. I see you more as maybe an educator. You are you are sharing useful content basically, and you have a startup now with Blotato because I think you solved, I guess, your own problems
Hmm.
to spread your content or grow fast. Maybe you can share a little bit about that because that's a lot
Yeah.
of what we are going to talk about, how you can use these AI tools and kind of amplify yourself, but at the same time, keeping your quality because I think that's something you do. I mean,
Hmm.
you still create content, but you don't spend all your time
Hmm.
creating content.
Yeah, people are very surprised. Up until the start of this year, I only made content 1 day a week. And in
Yeah.
that 1 day a week, it would be like 20 short form videos, one long form YouTube video, and then text only content like newsletter, tweets, and stuff like that. And that was only 1 day a week. I truly spend most of my time building my startup, which is why like being labeled in like an influencer or creator is so jarring to me because it's like I don't spend that much time, guys. But the key to that was combining AI and automation. So as I was getting started on one platform, like I dreaded having to do that for multiple platforms. I was like, oh man, that was so much work making it work for one platform. And I gotta go like focus on the product, all this fun stuff I wanna do. But I need to keep scaling myself in terms of content creation and marketing. And like I built Blotato to solve that problem. But the very first version of Blotato, honestly, was just like an N8N automation really that just like took something and then repurposed it. But what happened is people kept asking me, like, wait, can I do that? How can I do that? But without the automation part, I just want you to do it for me, or I want the website to be able to go in there and do it. And so I made a TikTok video asking my audience, like, hey, do you guys have this problem? Would you pay for something like this? I got like 200 people commenting in a few hours. And that was really the start of Blotato. So,
Yeah. Did you develop it yourself or was it more like a
mhm.
combination of vibe coding and your own efforts?
Yeah, so I actually filmed myself vibe coding the first version. So it's on YouTube. The playlist is called Build
Yeah.
SaaS with AI. And this was before Lovable launched. Like this was, I used Cursor before it had Composer, which is like its agent that actually edits the files for you. I had to like create the files manually, I remember, and then accept the changes. So it would go into the files. It was a really fun experiment with vibe coding. I will say though that I've largely thrown away or refactored a lot of that code. Just wasn't very like high quality code, but it was excellent for an MVP. So I think if you're just starting out, vibe coding's terrific to get to that MVP. But if you decide to double down and commit, then it's like, okay, let's refactor the code, figure out how to properly architect this, et cetera, et cetera. Because I have like thousands and thousands of users now. So my process is
Yeah.
very much AI assisted coding. Like, so using
Yeah.
Claude Code to help me code, but it's not AI just coding it for me and I don't check what's going on.
Yeah, I mean, let's dive in a little bit to share kind of what you can do because you started a lot to share with N8N and it's still popular, but I think now
Mhm,
with
mhm,
Claude Code, you can integrate a lot of tools with Claude Code via like MCPs and stuff, and then Claude Code can kind of
mhm.
act as the brain. A lot of people are using it like that, like an AI OS these days. And I don't know
Yeah.
if that has that kind of replaced a lot with what you did with N8N, and you just kind of stick with Claude Code now to kind of do a lot of your work, or what's kind of your stack?
Yeah. Yeah, so before I would say it was almost entirely N8N, and now it's about 50-50 Claude Code and N8N. But even for N8N, I don't even touch it. I use the Claude Code MCP N8N tool, and it just creates and fixes all the automations. Like this, it can even check the execution logs, figure out why an automation broke in that instance, and then try to fix it, patch it up. And so even I am still using N8N, but like I really haven't touched it in a long time. Like I'll open the workflow, but I'm not in there like dragging and dropping the boxes and stuff. So it's been pretty crazy to see how far it's changed in a really short period of time.
Yeah, because any tool, I mean, MCPs, they're sometimes quite heavy on the system. You have to see, I
Mhm.
connected a bunch. I mean, there's not really, there's some official ones. They're kind of coming out more and more. But I think when you connect them with Cloud Code and clients, they are actually less heavy on the system. The desktop app can crash if you connect a
Yeah.
lot. I connected like 50 to just like test
Oh
to
yeah, I
connect a
can't
lot.
use the yeah, I can't
Yeah.
use the desktop app after being in Claude Code. It feels very
Yeah.
limiting, and then the conversation just stops, and the, like
It's
yeah,
slow.
so
I mean, it's very
it's slow.
slow, and you
Yeah.
can have like, in Claude Code. I mean, if you're watching this, I mean, Claude Code can basically spin up different agents. That doesn't do that in like the chat or Cowork. Cowork is
Mhm.
still better than the chat, but it still doesn't do that. So I
Yeah,
think like you see like different workers is working for you. I mean, it does like a job of
it's
like
really
five.
cool.
It's insane. So, and you can integrate also your tool there, which I found pretty
Mhm.
interesting. So Claude Code can essentially go and execute or schedule or do anything.
Mhm.
Most of the stuff I think you can do in the platform. So maybe you can
Yeah,
show a little bit
exactly.
how you're using Claude Code with your stack and anything you are interested to share. Basically, I'll ask some
Okay.
questions as we go here.
So I was actually gonna show like the website first, just so they have
Yeah,
like a visual understanding of what's going on. Because then when we move to Cloud Code, it's gonna be just
yeah,
like
no,
code.
absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
better. No, that's
Okay,
way
cool.
better, and also kind of show how it all works and why they should care about that.
So this is inside the Blotato website, and you can think of this original main screen as similar to Notebook LM, where you can add different sources, and these sources are going to be used to create content. So, for example, if I want to repurpose my own TikTok video, this was about how to use Claude Code and Blotato to post contents through Claude Code. You can just put the URL here. You can also add YouTube videos, perplexity queries, podcasts, audio, PDF, and text. And then Blotato will actually extract the transcript from it. It's going to ask you where you want to post. So let's say we want to remix this TikTok video into a LinkedIn post, a Twitter post, maybe a Facebook post as well, and a script for TikTok. There are default prompts and stuff, so you can create your own prompts, of course, but I'll just use the default prompt for each platform. And so what's happening is Blotato is actually extracting the content from that TikTok video. So you can actually see it here if you click on it. I'll just click on this. You can see the full transcript here. You can also do long form YouTube videos. For example, I'll frequently repurpose my long form YouTube. Like this is a 35-minute video. I'll drop it in here and it'll spit out all of these social media posts as well. And then it's going to take that content and remix it in your brand voice for these different platforms, literally in just 30 seconds. So, like, this is LinkedIn, this is Twitter, this is Facebook, and then this is a script for TikTok. And then, if you want to generate a visual, so let's say you want like this content, but in the form of a visual, obviously you can upload your own visual or you can use Blotato's visual generation. And there's lots of different templates here. I've tried to base them off styles that are doing really well on social media. So there's lots of infographics, carousels, product UGC, and then I also have an AI agent where you can just describe what you want. And so I'll just show some posts real quick. Like this one is from 7 hours ago, actually, and I made it literally in Blotato. I just one-shotted the prompt, and it's doing really well. Like it's gotten 7,000 views in just a couple of hours. 28 reposts. It's just a very different style for LinkedIn. And so it does well because it stops the scroll. But yeah, so let's say we want to create our own thing. Like, let's use one of these like whiteboard ones, whiteboard infographics.
These are doing well right now. Actually, I see them quite a lot. These ones.
I know they're doing too well. It's like kind of crazy, but
Yeah.
they're fun to make. Like here, I'm just announcing my live stream for tomorrow, and so I just put like I literally just dropped the agenda for the live stream, dropped it into Blotato to make this infographic, and it's doing really well. It's just a fun format. So let me go back here. So you can type any prompt you want, but we can also put the post we just had in the other screen. You can can apply your brand kit if there's specific colors or tone. And then there's advanced options here, like if you want a specific footer or infographic description. And then you'll just click generate video. And then this one will take a few moments. I was also going to show the AI agent visual over
Do you have
here,
like
but
like Nano Banana and stuff built into the platform, or is
yeah.
it or do you have more like templates and then it edits, or what's your process more for like, so people don't need to
Yeah,
pay extra for this, they pay for the platform, I guess, and then they get all of that
exactly.
included.
Yeah. So it's integrated with Nano Banana, Nano Banana 2, Nano Banana Pro, as well as like a bunch of other image and video generation models. So the point of a template is just to like abstract away some of that decision. So if you choose an infographic template, like 99% of the time it's going to use Nano Banana because it's just the best model for that type of visual. But if you're doing like an AI video, like a story video, that's probably going to use a different set of models. It might use Kling or it might use VO3. And so I do have access to all of those models, and you can customize it, you can choose it, but the template tries to just simplify it for you and make that decision for you so that you don't have to like think too hard about which model to choose.
Yeah,
Okay,
no,
yeah,
that's
so
cool.
here's the infographic templates. If you want to turn this into a video, you can. I'm going to show you in a sec how to make like a video. So this is just an infographic. That's cool thing, you can make slideshows as well. So say we wanted more slides to this, and then you can export it as a slideshow, and then you can create a new post out of it. But these are really fun. I mean, they do well. Especially you can put some handy tips here, or if you're announcing something that's coming up. The nice thing is you don't have to drag and drop like in Canva, like you have to drag and drop everything. Here you can just describe what the content will be, and then it's going to format it in this style. If you need a little bit more flexibility, that's where this agent comes in. So I'm just going to go here. I think I need to clear it. So this first option is actually to use the new AI agent for visuals. It's brand new, so we'll see how it goes. I launched this like last week,
I
but
didn't
the
even
point of
see
it
it.
is
I
to
mean, I think
yeah.
I missed that. I was like deep in Claude Code, so I kind of missed when you released that, I think. But that's cool
Oh,
you
okay.
show it
So
here.
yeah, this is not available through Claude Code yet.
Okay.
But let's say I want to make like a real estate education video for like first time home buyers and financing tips, whatever. So the point here is it's like a chat GPT like experience where you can just describe what you want. It's going to walk you through the storyboard and clarifying questions, right? This is just general best practice for prompting. Let's say vertical, educational. Yeah, let's do 5 slides. And then it's just going to walk you through it. It's going to walk you through what it thinks each scene should be. It's going to generate like a preview first. And then once you're happy with that, generate the final visuals. And I ended up designing this because, there are many cases where someone wants to deviate from a template or the template isn't exactly what they want. And by the way, this takes your brand kit into account. So I already have uploaded a brand kit with like certain colors. You can talk about your products and services, and this AI agent will take all of that into account. And then it's just planning out each of the slides. So I call this the storyboard. Like what's going to be your hook, what's going to be slide 2, what's going to be slide 3, 4, and then what's your CTA here. And you can give feedback. So when it generates the first draft of the video, if you don't like it, you can just be like, well, can you change this? Or maybe I want to change the images. Let's just say for now, like we like everything. So let's click generate. It's going to generate the draft of the video without the AI images yet. So just so that gives you an opportunity to change it without burning lots of credits generating AI images or AI videos. Because some of the models are pretty pricey, right? So you want to save that for last. You want to make sure you're fine with how the text looks, how everything's kind of laid out, and then as a last step, generate the AI images or AI videos.
Yeah.
But hopefully it works. Like I
Yeah,
rolled
let's
this out
see. I
last
mean,
week.
it looks very, very good to do it like this. Very fast, actually. It's good.
Yeah, the longest part will be actually, I think, generating the AI
Yeah,
images and videos and stuff.
generating. So wait a little bit. Yeah, it's always when you have like
So
live demos, you wait for it. But there it goes.
So
So let's
this
see.
is the draft, so it hasn't generated the visuals yet. I do it this way because like people, they accidentally generate lots of images, videos, they burn through all their credits. So here you can give feedback first. Like let's say you don't like this title, you don't like how it looks, you can change the wording first before we generate the images. But let's just say like we're pretty happy with it, the animations look good. So let's click generate visuals. And then after it generates, if you still want to tweak something, you can give feedback here, or you can open it in the video editor and you can make changes there.
Right, let's see.
Nowadays, I'll always preface demos with, well, I hope it works.
Yeah, I hope it works. Exactly. I mean, I did a demo the other day. It's like sometimes it doesn't work 100%, but
Yeah.
let's see.
Yeah.
Hopefully it does here. But yeah, I mean, this is cool. So I mean, I'm also interested to dive in a little bit more to your, because you said you don't create content even that often. I mean, do you do more now because you do more on YouTube, you have Substack, you have all the platforms basically, and you're pretty big
Mhm.
on all platforms. And I'm interested to dive in after this a little bit how you're doing this with Blotato
Yeah.
and your tech stack and all this.
Yeah.
That's
So
I'm
I
sure
will actually
everyone
show
watching.
you like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, go ahead.
No, everyone watching, I'm sure they want to know how you grew so fast. I mean, of course, you produce quality
Yeah.
content, that's for sure, but like how you spread it to all the platform. Because usually people advise, hey, you start on one platform and go all in there. And you kind of did a little bit opposite. I guess you did all
Mhm.
platforms with your tools. So I mean, yeah, really cool. And you didn't create for all platforms. I don't think so. So yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of surprising. I wish I started more platforms earlier.
Yeah.
Like even I just posted this on Facebook the other day. I just checked
Mm.
my Facebook randomly, and it was like 4.5 million organic views in the past
Wow.
30 days. And
Crazy.
this was entirely automated. Like I didn't even like people were commenting and they were messaging me like, "Why are you not sending anything?" And I'm like, "Oh, I'm like I didn't even realize
This is the
I was
thing.
blowing
Some
up."
people have the same. I mean, actually, that I saw some guys who are pretty big on Instagram, and they have the same automation on or the same DM on TikTok. And on TikTok, as far as I know, this doesn't work. So people are like people
Mm.
are like commenting, AI, and they're not getting anything because it doesn't work there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
TikTok's like really strict actually about that. But for Facebook, you can definitely set it up. Like even the
yeah,
Facebook
sure,
Business Manager now has like the automation thing. But yeah, I can talk more about that. So I'll show you guys my Claude Code setup after this.
yeah,
So
sure.
okay, so we can either publish it or open this in the editor. So let me just open that so as we see what we got. And you can see here, so here's the visual. Boom, I find. So that was the AI generated image. Then the next 3 slides are just going to be like facts. So check your credit score. So again, it's following the storyboard. So the storyboard was like image, 3 facts, then closing image with a CTA. Here's the 4th one. Okay. And let's say you wanted a picture here, you would just tell the agent, I actually don't like the black background. Can we generate some photos to go with that? If you have your own photos, it can use it, it can pull it from your brand kit and use that instead. So this is a pretty simple example, but just to show you kind of what's possible, that you can just talk to the AI agent to make these videos instead of having to edit everything in CapCut and drag and drop. Video editing is not intuitive for a lot of people. Like it's a whole different kind of world and set of tools you learn to interact with. But here you can just like talk to the AI agent and be like, no, I don't like that, or change that. And then obviously you can post everything. So I'll just show you guys my calendar real quick, and then we can jump into Claude Code.
Sure.
So let me go to the calendar view. So yeah, here. So this was, for example, February. I went skiing these 2 days so it was a nice break. But yeah, I'm just posting like a lot of content. So like even this week, the things scheduled, right? Boom, like just so much scheduled. Um,
And how many
so
do you have there per day usually? I mean, you schedule and how far in advance do you schedule usually? When are you done with your
I
content?
Yeah, so I actually only batch 1 week of content at a time. That's why these are blank here, because they're not created. So I'll create all my content on Saturday. The only exception now that I started doing this year is I started creating 4 YouTube videos a week instead of 1. So for the longest time up until this year, I only made content 1 day a week, but I was only making 1 YouTube a week. Now I'm making 4 YouTubes a week, and then just that same Saturday for like all of the other platforms. But my YouTube videos are usually filmed in the evening when I'd normally be binge watching Netflix. So it's like it's actually not like that bad in terms of workload. But I don't batch content that far in advance because I like to be like really responsive to trends. So like if something comes up, I want to be able to cover it next week, not like have a month batched and then like I can't quite cover it. It's not quite fresh enough. Because I'm always on social media. I'm always like listening to what people are asking, listening to what people are commenting, because that helps inform my content ideas for the following week. And also by having a little tighter iteration cycles instead of batching 1 month in advance, I can look at what worked last week and then experiment with that. Whereas if you batch, like, let's say you only make content 1 day a month, your learning cycle is like a lot longer. You have to wait until next month to try new experiments or take what you've learned that works well and double down on that.
Yeah, and you talk about AI, obviously it changes a lot. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense. If you did it too far in advance, it probably wouldn't work as well. I mean, now, the time we're recording this, Claude Code is obviously blowing up a lot because, I mean, it's very
Hmm.
useful and good, and everyone talking about it. So, that's, I mean, I saw you did some videos on this as well. So, I mean, like, if you had batched all the other content, it wouldn't work. You know, you couldn't like do videos on that. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, that makes sense to do it in this way. But how do you do? So, mostly you do tutorial content, right? So you do prep a lot for this, like to be able to have, 4 videos a week, or kind of walk us through this a
Oh,
little bit.
do you
Yeah.
mean for YouTube?
Yeah, for YouTube in general, are you taking
Oh,
other ideas from your other content and making YouTube videos from it? I know you have your newsletter and stuff, so maybe that plays a role. I don't know if you repurpose from videos because that's long for. I mean, like a video like this that can turn into a lot of pieces of content, for example.
yeah. So it's a couple different things. Like right now I am experimenting with news type videos on YouTube. So if you do go to my YouTube, you'll see roughly 2 videos a week that are like they're talking about I still consider them educational, but they're trying to paint a picture of like what's really going on. For example, this video that's doing really well, this was published less than 24 hours ago, and it's about like a lot of the tech layoffs and headlines, but it goes into it's like journalism almost, like really trying to dig into the facts and untangle like all the different confusing narratives. So I'll try to do 2 news videos per week and then 2 educational videos per week. Honestly, for the educational videos, it's about 30 minutes of prep. Like I will just have an outline of what I'm going to talk about, and I can usually riff off of that. This is only because I spend most of my time building stuff, so it's not like I'm talking about something different from what I'm already doing. So this is a good example, how I code profitable apps solo. It's like this is what I think about 6 days a week. So it's like I can just take a couple bullet points and just riff off of that for a full 30-minute video, which gets trimmed down anyway to whatever it is, 18 minutes here. So I think this speaks to my larger philosophy around content creation and being an educator, being an entrepreneur. Like I spend most of my time being an entrepreneur, and then when it comes to content creation, I just share what I'm doing or what I've learned. So tomorrow I'm going to do like a 2-hour live stream explaining Claude Code for normal people, and it's just going to be a compilation of like all the things from my Claude Code setup. Like, why did I make skills this way? Why do I have hooks this certain way? Why did I structure my Claude MD this way? So I can just like pull an outline. I can just ask Claude, like, make me an outline of all the ways I've set up Claude Code, and then I can riff off of that.
Yeah, no, totally. I mean, that makes sense. And it's also, I mean, that's probably why people appreciate your content a lot because they can see that it comes from experience. And some people, they are maybe not using what they are sharing all the time on YouTube. They are more talking from theory, they're not actually using sometimes they're not even using the tool,
Mhm.
they're just speaking. I see this quite a lot, but
It happens quite often, yeah.
yeah,
I don't think when I like, before I started creating content, I don't think I, like, realized that.
yeah,
Like, it would strikes me so weird to make a YouTube video about something you don't know about, right?
yeah, no,
But,
for sure.
yeah, I mean, I could just speak to, like, what's working well for me. This is honestly the only way I could do content creation for many, many years and, like, not burn out. Like, it has to be very tightly integrated with the stuff I'm already doing. Because otherwise, if it's some other separate thing that I have to prepare for, I mean, like, I wouldn't have time, really.
Yeah, and let's dive in a little bit to kind of how you set up
Yeah.
with Claude Code and how everything plays a role because I mean, still, I mean, you publish a lot of content and it goes everywhere. So I mean, you probably
Yeah.
would
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
burn out if you didn't have these systems in place, even if you enjoy it, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so let me try this. Okay, so this is I guess a lot of people will use Visual Studio Code or a terminal. This is just the editor I use. It's called Emacs. On the left-hand side, I'm actually showing, I don't know if you can see the date. This is March 7th. So this was basically this past Saturday and like all the content I planned. So here's like the scheduling order. This is the first video. The captions for TikTok, YouTube, and Instagram are the same. So I just basically like look over this. This is the line for the DM. By the way, I have a separate Claude skill that creates many chat automations. So
Okay.
when it says do this, comments potato, it will go ahead and actually make that mini chat automation because
Do you
that was
set
really
up the
painful to
MCP
do.
or something for managed chat? I mean, I don't know if they have an official. I think I created even one. I don't know. Maybe they
So
have
they
an official
don't
one.
have an MCP or API for creating automations. So I'm
Okay.
actually using Claude Chrome, and basically it knows what to do in there. Like I have a base template automation, and then Claude Chrome will clone it for each one of these keywords. That way it
Yeah.
doesn't have to like create it from scratch. It'll clone the base template, change the keyword, and drop the link. So whatever the link is for this video. Yeah, so I've tried Claude and Chrome. Claude with Playwright also works really well for the ManyChat automation. So I have tried both of them. I would say the Playwright one actually works a little bit faster than the Claude and
The
Chrome one.
CLI one. That one.
Yeah,
That's the one
yeah,
I'm using.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, so
All
if
right.
you tell that one to like open ManyChat and do the thing, it will actually be able to do it. And so,
Okay.
because that was a big pain point for me, I've definitely noticed posts perform a lot better on Instagram and Facebook if you have a fresh lead magnet for each one. Because what I was doing, I was super lazy. I just said like comment Sabrina on every single video. So like obviously, if you've already commented Sabrina, you don't need to comment Sabrina again, right? Because you already know what it is I'm going to message you. But the posts performing really well now just have a unique lead magnet every time. And it's really stark, the difference in performance. And so that's why I ended up building kind of that many chat automation to help with that side of the process. But it's like the very last step. I would say it's not like I was successful on Instagram before doing that. So if you're kind of just starting out, I wouldn't focus on that. But if you're further along and looking to kind of like maybe you've hit a plateau or you want to turbocharge your growth even more, then I would recommend looking into ManyChat and automating it with Claude Code. But
Okay.
yeah, so like this is just one post idea. So this is from one video. This is the TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook version. This is the Twitter version, which will be posted on Threads, Twitter, and Blue Sky. And then this is the Substack version. And then this is video number 2. So I'm doing 20 of these per week. Like I just film them all at one time. And then I use Claude Code, my post skill, to basically create what's going to be cross-posted and repurposed to all of these other platforms. So it's like out of one video, I get however many, like 8 or 9 posts out of it. And that is how I'm like just on all platforms and able to scale. So this left side, I'm just showing this, and then you can see a little bit
So
preview
do you have
of my
do you have a
skill.
skill then for all the platforms because they are different, of course, like in terms
Mhm.
of the type of content, the context, all this. So you have skills for like TikTok, for Instagram, for I guess LinkedIn. So Claude will know exactly how to structure it in your voice for each platform. And I guess you have the video then, so you give it the transcript or something. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, so like literally my process is I'll just film the 20 TikTok videos,
Yeah.
airdrop them to my MacBook, and then I'll
Yeah.
do slash cross post. And that knows to find all the videos I just downloaded today. It transcribes all of them, and then it writes platform specific captions for each one. And then it'll create like the post for each one. I look it over, and then it will schedule them all out for the week. And to your point about like brand, so at the bottom here is how I structure it. So I make a difference between like my worldview and how I do things versus viral templates. So philosophy, Claude Code, and platform constraints. I don't know if you can see the files at the bottom. It's kind of small.
Yeah.
Those refer to philosophy and Claude Code are like how I use tools and my worldview. So you can kind of think of it as like your brand identity. And then templates contains viral templates for each platform. So if I go to, let's say like tweet, this should be viral examples from, in this case, Alex Hormozy and Dan Coe, who are some of my favorite folks on Twitter.
Yeah.
I make that distinction because like there is a difference between just like the copywriting style, like the viral copywriting style versus your thoughts, your unique perspective. And that's, you talked earlier on like how do you create quality content at this scale? I do think you have to differentiate between, are you copying a viral style? Okay, but like what is the unique thought that you're saying? And the cool thing about the philosophy MD file is like I continuously update it. So I'll have I have another skill called learn that basically tells Claude Code reflect on this conversation and figure out how to update my philosophy file, figure out any new skills I should create, and figure out how to update my Claude MD file for the project based on our
Yeah.
conversation.
And this is interesting because I still use Notion a lot, but I find when I use Notion for my entire setup before I kind of moved to Claude as my brain, Notion, I don't know, it's kind of struggled to find the stuff. And
Yeah.
then when I moved to like these kind of MD files more, it's just better. So I'm trying to kind of move
Mhm.
away from. I mean, I have these databases in Notion. It's great, but it's like struggles to find it there. So I'm trying to see kind of how. Yeah, so if I have like this templates and I have a lot of stuff like you mentioned, like references. So I'm trying to, I guess I have
Mhm.
to put them in MD files then for Claude to be able to reference that a lot easier. Because if they're gonna go to Notion, it's gonna take a longer time than it's if in
Yeah.
it's in your computer. So I'm thinking more like that rather than having it in the clouds because it's not working that well as I thought. Even
Mhm.
though Notion had Opus 4.6, they have always the latest Claude models. It's
Yeah.
not the same to do it in there. It's not the same.
I use Notion for a really long time, but, like, it does not compare at all. Like, it's
Yeah,
so much faster for me to build all of this in Claude Code. You can hook up Notion MCP, it's just, like, way slower, you know? Like, it's so I can drop anything into Claude Code and just be like, "Update the corresponding templates," and it just, like, knows what to do, and it does
yeah.
it.
Or
You can
like
have
put
a
your logo
separate.
on something. Like there's some like they don't even need to use
Mhm.
Photoshop or something. There's some I don't know. I don't even know what it's called, but Claude Code found it for me. Just put like a logo on it to
Oh,
edit the
yeah.
image. I mean, I didn't
That's
know.
cool.
I have no idea. I was like, okay, maybe we have to use like Photoshop because they have an MCP, but of course that's gonna be slow. Then they have to save it. But they found something that it's
Mhm.
like I don't even know where it lives on my computer. I forgot the name now, but it's like Claude Code know about it, and it just puts my logo in the corner, so I don't even have to go to Canva,
Mhm.
which is nice.
You
Yeah,
don't even have, yeah, and so I really encourage even non-technical folks to dive into Claude Code, and
yeah,
I just wanted to show real quick before showing how to use Blotato and Claude Code,
yeah,
I just type skills, and you can see a sample of the skills just in this project. So this is my content directory. I have other projects, obviously, but just in this content directory, I have like a new YouTube news research skill, the post skill, ideas skill, remixing existing content, the ManyChat skill, cross posting. So that's the one I kind of walk through, like take a TikTok video and then cross post it to 8 different platforms. I have a fact check skill, which uses Perplexity MCP. I use that very heavily when I'm writing YouTube news videos because I really do not want to get any fact wrong. I have a teleprompter skill if I just want to output like the raw text without any new lines so I can paste it into a teleprompter. I have specific writers for TikTok and Twitter, really focused on hooks. I have a newsletter writer that like literally writes my Substack from usually I film a YouTube video first and then I repurpose it into a Substack,
yeah,
and it's amazing. It's just like literally I just paste it into Substack, and then additional writers for YouTube, like just focusing on the intro, and then one for actually writing the full script. And
yeah.
so this is how like you'll end up kind of building your content system. But the cool thing is you can build the skills really customized to your use case and
Mhm.
business. Like every single one of these is highly customized to my actual workflow.
Yeah, do you recommend having you mentioned you have different kind of workspaces. Do you recommend having different for every. I mean, some people they put it all in one, like let's say Navid Workspace or Sabrina Workspace, and they put like all the different things in there. Or but you do it like you have a content workspace, and then you obviously have to
Mhm.
open. You have to tell it you open this folder for this one, and then you go into the next one when you do something else. So, what is the best practices? I see people doing kind of different things. I mean, I've watched quite some videos on it. I've seen, it's hard to know what people what to go for. What would you do if I mean for if you had different things in your business and things like that?
Yeah, I mean, I have separate projects because each one is committed to GitHub. So I don't know if viewers are familiar with that, but it's basically like a way to save all your work and try new things without
Yeah.
breaking your
I just
stable
got into that.
version.
I'm not a dev, but I got into that. So it's
Oh,
well,
okay,
it's
yeah,
great. Claude knows everything about GitHub, so I don't even have to
yeah.
know how it works. He puts everything organized there. I mean, it's nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So kind of from that, I guess, heritage, I'm used to different projects
Mm.
would have a different GitHub repository. With that said, though, I do have some skills that are in my global user, so that's accessible like just wherever I'm logged in, and it's at a higher level across all projects. However, for contents, I put it all in one project because like I'm in a very specific mindset when I sit down to make content. If I'm focused on building Blotato, like writing code for my product, I'm not like switching context to go do content stuff.
Yeah.
Even for Blotato, I have separate projects for my code base and then for my help docs. Like when I'm debugging support tickets and trying to improve the documentation around the product, like that is a total different mindset for me. But I do have a couple skills that are on the global user level as well as MCP configurations on the global user scope for things that will be commonly used across all projects. So like Perplexity MCP is a good example. Apify MCP is another good example. Like I can imagine using Apify for content. Like I want to scrape some TikToks. I could also imagine using it for help.blotato.com. I want to scrape Reddit and understand what people are talking about related to N8N automation. So I would just think about it that way, like what skills or MCP servers are you going to use across multiple projects, and those are the ones you can keep in your global user scope.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty smart. And if you don't know what this means, so you're watching this, I mean,
Yeah.
Claude actually, I mean, this it's pretty tricky to find all of that on your computer. Actually, it's not that easy. I mean, so you can actually ask Claude. I mean, there's probably some info about it, but they have your global files. There are some nice hidden files on your computer, so you cannot even find
Mhm.
them that easily. They are like with a dot, and then you have to like, yeah, you have to put some
Mhm.
command on your
Mhm.
computer, and then you'll find it. I mean, basically, so you can access it. I wish it was
Yeah, like
easier,
this
but
dot
that's kind
clod.
of how it is to gonna get into it. But it's when you do, then you can do quite a lot. And yeah, you can use your workspace actually on Cloud Cowork as well, but it's just so much more powerful inside of Cloud Code.
Yeah, it's great. Like I really encourage people to try Claude Code because it's pretty awesome once you kind of get over the initial learning curve. So
Yeah.
here on the right hand side, I was going to show just some basic stuff with Blotato MCP server.
Mhm.
And for those not familiar with MCP, it's basically like an easy way to connect your Claude Code with different tools. So my Blotato MCP server allows you to do a bunch of the things that I previously showed you in the website. So for example, here I was testing this earlier. So let's say we want to use Blotato MCP to get this YouTube transcripts. I think I copied it. Okay, I copied a different video. Hopefully that works. So basically, when you tell Claude Code this, it's going to be like, what is a Blotato MCP? It's going to look it up from the tools it has access to. It's going to figure out like which tool to call. In this case, it's called create source, and then it's going to give it the YouTube video URL. And then when it's done, you're going to get the transcript back. So I know it's a little bit hard to see, oh, by the way, that's my Claude Code hook. Whenever it's done running, it makes a loud mooing sound. So I don't know if you heard that, but
Yeah, I think I heard it. Yeah.
forgot. Yeah, so that one just
Great.
wakes me up. I'm like, oh, I got to check Claude Code. Okay, but
Yeah.
so you can see some of the content here. So content, blah blah blah. So this is the full transcript of the video, and then I'm gonna say write LinkedIn, Twitter, and Substack posts. And then so now it's going to write those drafts, and it already knows whenever it writes something to like use a combination of the viral templates and my philosophy or my brand voice slash identity. And then it's going to just write these drafts, and then we can see these drafts as a preview. I personally like it to write to a file. So that was actually the file I was showing you earlier. Let's see. Which one was it? Oh, sure. Yeah. So like this file here from last Saturday. So like these are all the drafts. So I can just provide feedback on it. Like if I wanted to completely redo the captions for this particular video, I can just provide that feedback really easily. And this is why I like recommending Claude Code with Visual Studio Code, because you can review the output. Whereas a lot of people use it in a terminal, which I think is fine if you don't have to heavily review the work. But when you're writing or you're writing code, you want to heavily review what Claude Code is doing, and that's what this file on the left is. So this is, I will like scan this, eyeball this. If it doesn't sound like me, like you can also just write here, like you can just type here whatever you want and make it sound like you, right? So you always have that quality check at the end. Okay, on the right hand side, so it's created the drafts. So here's our draft for LinkedIn. Boom. Here's our draft for Twitter, and then here's our draft for Substack. Now let's create an info. Let's just create one. I don't want it to create three. Let's create one infographic on the topic. It's already asking me to schedule it, but let's just create an infographic first just to show how it would work. So now Claude is going to be like, okay, let me see what templates are available. It's going to choose a template. Like you don't even have to think. You don't have to specify IDs or anything like that. It's just going to ask for permission to proceed. So I'm going to say yes. And then it's going to start creating the template. It's going to wait some time because it takes about 1 minute for this template to be done. But Claude Code is handling all of that. So it took the content from my YouTube video, extracted it, repurposed it into posts for LinkedIn, Twitter, and Substack. And now it's creating an infographic out of it. And then once it's done, we'll be able to schedule it to the different platforms. So I'm going to go to Blotato and check on the
But could
status.
this system be automated? Let's say you publish YouTube videos a few times a week. Could this be automated? I
Yeah.
think I mean, like Claude obviously needs to be on because you cannot do it in the cloud or whatever. So it needs to always be on. But then let's say you publish a video, can Claude get a trigger or something like that, and it goes in there and starts the process? Like you can kind of schedule it, right?
Oh yeah, so that's actually on my to-do list to build out. So I want it so that I recently started ramping up my YouTube video production, but I want it so that every time I publish a long form YouTube video, it will just do this automatically, so I don't even have to do it. And then also clip some of the videos, because tools like Opus Clip and Clap do allow you to clip like little sections of the
Do
video
they
and
have
post it.
do Opus Clip have API so you can actually
It
automate that?
for business users though,
Yeah.
honestly, you could even clip it with Claude Code. That it can
Yeah.
use remotion and things like
Submagic,
that.
I managed to integrate. I managed to integrate
Well,
Submagic with Claude Code because the thing I found. I mean, it's very easy to do it. I mean, if you know what you're doing, like you can just build your own
oh,
MCPs from their API. If they have a good API, and you get pretty good access. I did this for Kit.
yeah, and it's something I think about as well for Blotato. Like I didn't expect this agent stuff to go mainstream so quickly. Like when I started making YouTube videos, I made videos on agents. This was like in late 2024, and it was just like not good. Like it did not work very well. You would never recommend it to just someone who's no technical background.
You mean
But now
N8N
that
stuff and
agents are
make?
popping up, yeah, yeah, that's why it's like, okay, let's stick to make. N8N has
Yeah.
a little agentic stuff, it's nice. But Claude Code is like insanely crazy now. And so even for Blotato, I'm thinking, well, how do I get it into Claude Cowork? How do I make MCP easier to use? Things like that. So here we're finally done with our infographic, and you can see the image URL, so you can go and open this. You can also preview it here. So like you can just go to your Blotato account if you want to preview it. So it shows this particular billboard, construction billboard. And then let's say we want to schedule all 3 posts. Yes, schedule all 3, let's say from 2 hours from now. just so I can easily find it
Yeah.
and then delete them from my
Yeah.
schedule.
I mean, this is the thing. You can. I mean, this is what I'm actually working on a little bit. I think you can automate some of this here. So this is actually with they have
Yeah.
some tasks and different things you can do now. They actually just released that. I don't know if that's in. Yeah,
Mhm,
I think you can
mhm,
do it in the Claude Code tools as well, not just in the desktop. They have it obviously as a feature like Cowork. They have a scheduled
mhm.
tasks now. So I
Yeah.
think that's what I'm gonna explore a little bit to automate some of this stuff that is like happening every week.
Mhm. Yeah, no, for sure. Like that was one of the biggest pain points and why I still use N8N for anything that needs to be like scheduled and orchestrated because like I don't want to leave my computer running all the time and then the scheduling was you have to use some other tool, right, to be able to trigger Claude Code at specific times. But now that they released that, I forget what they called it, Crone something.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're supposed to be able to schedule tasks and stuff with Claude Code as long as your computer is turned on. And for that, by the way, I use another tool. I don't know if I have it here, but it's called amphetamine, so that my
Okay.
computer can just like stay turned on. And yeah,
Okay.
so it should be done now. So now LinkedIn, Twitter, both scheduled. So let me check my calendar here. Okay, 7:45. Oh yeah, here. So here's the LinkedIn post, here's the tweets, and then here is the Substack goes to I forgot Substack. I don't have an official integration with, so it actually goes to my Airtable and N8N. So N8N I do use Substack posting for.
They don't have an official API or
Mhm.
anything. I know it's not like 100%, I told Claude, let's build an integration. It just did it.
You
It
did,
actually
yeah.
works. Yeah, it works. It works too. It works actually pretty well. It's like LinkedIn. A lot of people do that, but you have to be very careful. Like if you just post it like a human, I think it's not an issue because then it will just look like, because basically it's logging into my account kind of. That's kind of how it works. It's like a human
Mhm.
going in there and posting. So yeah.
Yeah. So I'm currently using the unofficial N8N Substack node just because I don't want to get in trouble
Yeah.
because of Blotato. Like if I want to integrate Blotato in the future, I want to be in good standing with the
Yeah, for
platform.
sure.
So I don't like publicly say, yeah, you should just use this, you know,
Oh.
and automate
Oh,
all your
but they have at
Substack
least
posts.
an official node. I didn't know that. That's good. That's good to know.
Yeah, they have an unofficial Substack node. But
Great.
yeah, but yeah.
Good stuff.
So those were and Claude Code even told me, and I forgot. Like here it says Substack is queued in Airtable, but I didn't even read it. But yeah, so
Yeah.
that's pretty much it. So all the things we saw, like taking existing content. I usually just take my own content. By the way, like I know people are like, "Well, are you just stealing other people's content?" I'm usually just taking my own content because I have so much content built up after like over a year of posting. And then I can repurpose that, put a fresh spin on it. Maybe some fresh news came out, create visuals for the platforms, schedule everything out. And it's just like done with text, like just language, just speaking. So I just showed the web app first so you guys get kind of like a visual understanding of what's actually happening behind the scenes. But like once you get the hang of it, you can just like tell Claude Code to do whatever you need and like it'll take care of all of this, scraping the content, creating the visuals, and then posting to social media and managing your calendar.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you grow obviously to over 1 million followers very quickly. I mean, probably one
Oh
of the
yeah, I'm
fastest.
approaching 2 now. Yeah.
Yeah, approaching two very, very fast. I mean, what would you say? I mean, did you have like a break that you just went viral or something like that? What happened? Like maybe you can share that because you
Yeah.
must have had something that happened early on or something that you just went viral with some
Mhm.
posts you had. So can you share that?
Yeah, my very first like truly mega viral post was on TikTok, and it was the dumbest video. It was just sharing like 8 cool YouTube channels for education. For some reason, that listicle format, now I call it, just did really, really well. And the funny part is I've reposted that same video like at least 4 times, and it goes viral every single time. Um, the reason I
Yeah.
mention that is because there's so much mileage creators can get out of their existing content. They don't even realize it. On Instagram, one of my most viral videos is just like a list of resources for parents to teach their kids AI. And I've reposted that video at least 4 times. I've probably gotten like 8 million views in total across all the reposts. And when I say repost, I don't even edit it. I just like like it just be posted as is. And so that showed me very early on that there's just a ton of mileage you can get out of one piece of content. Like I'm not even talking about repurposing it, or refreshing it. I just posted the exact same thing. I've also done spin-offs where I repurpose it or like have a new list or a similar hook, and those do really well as well. And so very early on, I just learned like the importance of repurposing, remixing, especially your own content, the content that's performing well.
Yeah, so you sit down to do this unique original content for each platform. You don't repurpose longer videos to short form, right? You just take you do that.
I've experimented with it, but it hasn't performed well is my problem. So I've used Opus and similar tools, and like their automated clipping is not super great for educational videos, I found. Like it misses important context, and then the short doesn't make sense anymore, like from my perspective watching it. So I haven't fully automated it, but I would try again, but I would probably try again with Claude Code, so that I can teach Claude Code, like here's exactly what should have been cut out, or here's what should have been included, right? Like I'm definitely
How
interested
would you do
in
it with
doing
Claude?
more of
What would
that.
you use? What would you use with Claude
Oh,
Code to kind of automate it? What do they have
yes,
some MCPs or something, or do you just train
yeah,
it
yeah,
to
yeah.
edit?
Yeah, so there's a skill called remotion, and it's
Oh yeah,
basically
yeah.
like video editing. So remotion, you may not even need it for this. You might just use this other open source tool called FFmpeg, and
I mean,
that
that's what
basically
I
allows.
installed. I mean, I haven't
Oh
tried it yet,
yeah,
but
yeah.
it's good. Yeah, I think it's good. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
the
so that's
Claude recommended it. I was like, I was looking for some stuff, and Claude recommended it. It was
Yeah,
pretty
yeah,
interesting.
yeah. So that's what I use even in Blotato.
Yeah.
So anything related to like audio or video processing, like FFmpeg can do it. So if you wanted to cut your video a certain way, stitch things together, remove audio, like it can do all that. But I think what's been missing is like the intelligence of like here's what should be included, here's what should be cut out. I just personally didn't have luck using Opus and those types of tools to completely automate it. I'd always have to go in there and be like, no, like in the thing you can add stuff that should be included. You can delete stuff, and so I didn't want to do that extra work, and that's why I have kind of stayed away from repurposing long form to shorts. But I would be open to try again this time building a Claude Code system that does it for me, so that I can teach it. Here's exactly how this should have been cut up into shorts.
But the same videos you post on TikTok, they also go on YouTube Shorts and to
Yeah.
Instagram. You don't do already. I mean, some people say, I mean, it
Oh
doesn't
yeah.
work, but you seem to it goes pretty well for you to do that. And I mean, maybe it
Hmm.
doesn't work for
Yeah.
everyone. I don't know because I see people doing that sometimes. It doesn't work. Maybe for you,
Oh
you
no, it
have
works
like a
really
different.
well.
Yeah, I mean, I saw your platforms. You're growing very fast. But what would you say is the formats that work the best? You did the list you mentioned there that went viral.
Oh yeah.
Anything
So
else
actually, I
to?
can actually, yeah, I can
Yeah.
bring it up because I was
Sure.
reflecting on this, and
Because
here
it's
it
not
is. Yeah.
so, I mean, it's pretty unique to grow so fast. Obviously, if you're watching, probably will not grow to 1 million so fast, but you can maybe grow to 100K or something like that, implementing some of these strategies. Like, I mean, that would still be amazing for most people, I think.
Yeah, I think so. Like it's, the big numbers are cool and stuff, but for me, the most excited I ever felt was like my very first video hitting 10,000 views.
Yeah.
You know, like that was peak excitement and energy. Oh, hey, Sloppy. My dogs came home. Hi.
Okay.
But yeah, so this social playbook actually went viral on LinkedIn repeatedly, and it was basically
Wow.
like a journal dump of like everything that worked for me, everything that didn't work for me. But to answer your question, there's a section here, high performing content types, and these are links to my actual videos that perform well. So you can see examples. So for TikTok, I'll zoom in a bit.
This one is
Chat
public. I
GPT.
can link is this public? I can link this up in that
Yeah.
case below. Yeah, sure.
Oh yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'll type the link in the chat in a
Yeah,
bit. But
sure.
yeah, if you go down to this section, high performing content types, obviously I'm not saying these are the only content types that perform well, but I'm giving you real examples for each platform of formats that work really well for me again and again. So on TikTok, everybody loves chat GPT prompts. I know that's the dumbest thing, but I will get DMs from people saying like, I tried your resume prompts and I landed 2 interviews. and like I can't thank you enough. So I like, even if it's like kind of cringy, as long as your content is genuinely helpful or you're trying to be helpful with the content, like you never know, like this could be really helpful to people. Chat GPT tips, listicles, and obviously anything that mentions making money with AI. I mean, that is a very
It does
easy
pretty
one.
well, huh? Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you edit? Do
Instagram.
you put a lot of
Yeah.
B-roll in your videos and stuff like that, or is more? I, mean,
No.
I see you do a lot of talking head, but do you start putting more
Oh
B-roll
yeah.
now in them?
Um, so I'll do green screen. So on TikTok, there's an effect called green screen where I can throw up like a video behind me or like a screenshot behind me. I'll do that for maybe 1/3 of my videos just so it's dynamic. One pro tip is like motion is really appealing. So for example, I think here, share. Oh, hang on, let me try. Let me go to Instagram instead and share this tab.
There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, this one, like, and also just talking about DM automation, like 7,000 comments. This video was posted yesterday.
This is
Like,
crazy. Like so fast.
yeah. And so the cool thing here's the background, the motion. So this is like a green screen I'll do where I'm just literally just filming scrolling up and down on my newsletter. Like that's all it is. Like
Man, wow, like
I,
I mean, I just want to share this here because people are like, I know some people. I had someone on this, Simone Ferretti, for example. He's pretty big on Instagram with his AI content, and it's very high quality in terms of the editing and
yeah.
stuff. But he spends quite a lot of money on his video editors to get all. I mean, he has a lot of effects and stuff like that going
Oh
on.
yeah.
But this is cool. This is very approachable to anyone to actually do this. What you are doing, you still get a lot of
Oh
views and
yeah.
comments.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's what I want. Like this one was just like me yapping, right? 12,000. Like this was just I don't know, how long ago this was. But there's, I personally don't love video editing because I struggle a lot visually. Like my strength is text, which is like I
Yeah.
was actually like really gonna quit TikTok. like,
Oh, really?
like yeah, like
Was it
LinkedIn
hard for
felt
you to
like
start
home.
video? I mean, you look
Oh yeah,
pretty like right now. You
no.
look very comfortable to speak and stuff like that. So I cannot
Only
imagine.
now, like my first videos I thought were like super cringe and terrible. Like I didn't want to be on camera. I'll show you guys. So I
Okay.
started sharing this just to get over
Now,
it.
my first video was
But
like 2030. It was terrible. It was very bad. But
yeah, it's I so this is my first TikTok video ever. I so didn't want to be on camera. I wore sunglasses the entire video, and this took me 4 hours. It's like I had to script it, and then I had like this DJI selfie stick, and then like the B-roll, and then the, like the captions, and it's like I personally don't want to spend 4 hours making a video anymore.
it's
And
good.
so yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, like when I started getting really serious on TikTok, my thought process was always like, how can I make this as easy as possible for me? Because again, I don't think of myself as a creator. I think that's
Mhm.
something a lot of people don't realize. I like educator. I like entrepreneur. That's where I spend most of my time.
Entrepreneur,
I don't.
educator sounds good. It sounds
Yeah,
better
but
actually
like
than an than
yeah,
influencer
like I
creator.
don't spend a ton of time trying to like min-max content as a game. Like I know
Yeah.
it's a whole different skill. I personally don't think I'm a particularly good content creator. Like I don't even retake videos. Like if I said it, there are videos I just burped in the middle and I'm like I'm just gonna leave that in there. Like it's fine. But that's my style. That's what works for me because I'm personally like not trying to optimize content creation itself.
But you have good content, even though maybe you have some mistakes here and there. I mean, it doesn't matter too much if the content is good. I think I mean, it doesn't matter. I mean, I don't really edit like my summit videos like fancy, but there or whatever I'm doing. It doesn't matter too much. The people love the content. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Like I could spend like days putting like effects and stuff, but it's not gonna matter for the content, at all. I mean, it's never did for me. But so I think also people appreciate that type of content these days. Before I guess it was the Sam Colder days where you had, I mean, a lot of videos on YouTube are very fancy, and this still has its place maybe for filmmakers. But if you're a like a content creator or an educator, I think that doesn't matter as much. I mean, I'm sure you would agree with that. I mean, there are different types on YouTube,
Yeah.
I think, but
It's
overall?
Yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna say YouTube is really interesting because 'cause I'm definitely experimenting with it more now. So I did hire an editor for YouTube. So like this level is definitely not something I would do. But this is
yeah,
brand new for me. So this is about I started this maybe a month ago. And the reason for it is like I want to experiment with different styles, but I don't want to be the one to do it. And I don't want it to impact my core education content. This is what I call my AI Chronicles series of like just talking about the breaking news in AI, but with a different spin on it. Because I feel like a lot of the news I see for AI is just like reporting, like this is what
oh, yeah, yeah.
happened, and that's it. I wanted to spin on this more like a documentary, like a edutainment documentary, was just like the style I'm going for. I don't know if it's going to work though, but it's
Where
definitely
did
been
you
fun for
find
me.
where do you find like good talent? Do you hire in the US? I mean, you live in the US, obviously, or do you hire overseas?
Oh, overseas YT jobs has been
Okay,
awesome. Like just incredible people. So if you are searching for a YouTube editor, I've had the best experience hiring on
okay,
YT jobs. Yeah.
okay. That's good. I mean, I've used online jobs a lot, but YT jobs is probably more. It's a lot more specific for
It's
this kind type of
very
stuff.
high quality stuff on there.
Roughly,
I
how
was
much do you
incredibly
pay for an
impressed.
editor there, like compared to other? I mean, compared to the US or something like that. Is it
So
cheaper or is it same or?
I don't know what the US rates are, but a video like this is at least a couple $100 just to edit
Yeah,
per video, and I'm doing 4 videos a week. But, like, I feel comfortable experimenting with this because, like, it's fun for me too. Like,
yeah.
so funny enough, I don't watch my own content because it's like, well, I already
Okay.
know it, so, like, why would I watch it? And it's
Yeah,
even worse on YouTube because it's really hard to sit through, like, a 60-minute really unedited, unpolished YouTube video. If you look at what I actually watch on YouTube, it's like Hormozy and Gary Vee. It's like very they have huge teams. So that's what I actually watch. So it's been fun for me because like now I go back and watch my own videos because I'm like, oh, this is pretty cool. I like how he did some of the animations here, but I don't think I would ever do this for short form. I like keeping it like very raw, authentic, and direct for short form.
and kind of one of the final questions, how do you actually plan your week with content when you're working on Blotato and you have your content creation? Do you have now like a support team or something that manage stuff for you with Blotato, or are you still doing all of that yourself?
Yeah, no, I'm still completely solo with Blotato. I do plan to hire a friend in the next couple of months to just to make it more fun, you know. It is fun doing it solo and like seeing how far I can go solo. But it's also kind of it can be fun to work with people as well. So this is someone I've known since high school, and we worked at my previous startup together. So it's like it's just going to be really fun. But yeah, I mean it's been solo up to this point to thousands and thousands of users and growing my personal brand, and I hope that can serve as inspiration that like you can do it too. Also, even if you're working a full-time job, right? Like I only made content 1 day a week for the longest time. And so, you know, I do hope this inspires someone out there that you don't need to jump in full time, right? You can like start small, start playing with AI tools. If you want to build a personal brand, just do it on the side. You don't have to make drastic life decisions just to get started.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this has been super valuable to see behind the scenes of everything you are doing. So, I mean, definitely go follow Sabrina if you're watching this. I link up some of her resources. I mean, she shared quite a bit, but Potato will be below. Anywhere else you would like people to go check out? I mean, you have your Substack, obviously, you write there every week.
Yeah, I think for my highest quality tutorials, it's always going to be long form. So my YouTube and Substack newsletter are what I would recommend. But if you're on Instagram, TikTok, I do a lot of shorts on there as well. So
Awesome. Yeah, thanks so much for coming on. I will drop all the links below here. And if you are watching, leave your biggest takeaways in the comments as well. Hopefully, you take some action. Go and try out Claude Code together with Blotato. Schedule some content for your social media. And I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Ciao for now.